going on there, guys? We back with another one, and today we got to talk about the Michael Jordan, LeBron James never-ending debate again. Now, the latest culprit of stirring this up is Stan Van Gundy, Jeff Van Gundy's brother, former NBA coach. You know, he was the coach when Dwight and Orlando Magic made it to the NBA Finals. Stan Van Gundy, man, he came out the other day and he said something that has the whole social media world in an uproar. He says, if you want to argue Michael Jordan was a better player than LeBron James, then okay. But he said there is no argument that Jordan had the better career. And I already know in the comments, you know, if they push the notifications for this video, people are going to have very different opinions and strong opinions on one side or the other. You may have some people that go down the middle and be objective, but I'm not showing this graphic to show which way I'm leaning. Obviously, I think Michael Jordan is the best player I've ever seen in my life. But I'm not simply just going off this graphic because I understand times has changed, right? You're not going to get a player that's like a Scottie Pippen in today's game to spend all of their prime years in their career with you and take less money. So you, first of all, that dynamic typically doesn't happen. You know, only time it happens is like when Steph was injured earlier in his career and he was on the 4-year, $40 million contract. Other guys was able to get paid and they worked contracts that way. But I ain't want to get too far off base with what I'm talking about. But we're going to listen to some reasons I think that he might have taken this stance against Mike, because I really want to highlight the fact that he has said this more than once, and also highlight some of the problems Jeff Van Gundy used to have with Mike. We're going to peep it. Let's check it out.
Fine if you want to tell me that Michael Jordan was a better basketball player than LeBron James. That's fine. You can make a case for that. What you can't make a case for is that Michael Jordan had a better career than LeBron James. You can't make a case for that.
Because Twitter is going to go crazy on me. LeBron James is the greatest player ever.
That's what I say. I
Greater than Michael Jordan.
Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't have Michael number 2 either. So
what?
You know, but see, I'm a guy until those guys came around. Now I'm going to go really old school on you and go back. Oscar Robertson. I mean, what people don't realize, first 5 years in the league, Oscar was averaging 30, 10, and 10. Like for 5 years, Jalen. For 5 years.
So at the risk of then taking this to a place that many in the audience won't know, everyone knows LeBron versus Michael. In that debate, you go LeBron.
Yes.
You're going to yell at him too? You yell at everybody else who says that?
Well, it's his opinion.
Stan, you said pregame, though, you have LeBron over Jordan. Why?
Well, I think more efficient, and his passing, to me, takes him over the top on Jordan. Both great scorers. Jordan a better scorer. Maybe LeBron more efficient. LeBron's passing.
My thing is, how do we judge who's better? Is it because it's not an individual sport? So it's individual. It's an individual thing combined with team success. Of course, LeBron has more skill level than probably anyone ever. But when you look at accolades and team success, that puts Jordan right at the top.
Jeff, any regrets about the comments made somewhat in jest about Michael Jordan? It seemed like he kind of took heat and lit up 51 points tonight. Any regrets?
What's that now? I
Did
couldn't
you
hear you.
regret saying some of the things throughout the course of the week about Michael Jordan?
I didn't say anything this week about it.
Well, you made some comments that, you know, sometimes people are in awe of Michael Jordan. Sometimes Michael Jordan kind of pretends to be friends with people, and then he seems to have big nights against people while they're smiling.
No, I don't have any regrets. I told the truth, and he had a big night. He played a great game. That's the usual for him. Plays very well. He's a great player. At the same time, I believe everything I said. You have to go at him as hard as he goes at you, and he uses every weapon to his advantage that he can, some physical, some mental. I was proud of our guys. They went right at him. He had a great night, made some big shots.
What did you say to him after that last basket?
Some choice words. It's kind of downplayed a little bit, but it's never forgotten. I think, you know, when you hear certain things like that, you put them in your memory bank and you use them whenever you feel you have the need to. And, you know, so I hadn't really forgotten it, but I moved on past that.
The reason I showed the Jeff Van Gundy stuff is just for the simple fact to give you a point of reference on some of the things that probably goes into Stan Van Gundy's decision making. You know, he says he doesn't have Jordan at number 1. He has Oscar Robertson there. And so when you know when there's something there, a lot of times when you are discussing two players and they try to go inject someone from even before that player's time to overly make it look like they're not hating on the guy that people believe should be in that spot. And he used Oscar, you know, as a pawn in his argument that time. We all love Oscar, but there's no argument to be made. He is a better basketball player than Jordan all time. And the graphic I show you show just the accomplishments Michael Jordan has. Now, I feel like LeBron has been cheated out of some defense, like the defensive player of the year that Marc Gasol won. That was LeBron, you know, so sometimes these players should have more accolades than they do. I think one of the MVPs that Malone won, you know, Jordan could have won that one too. So a lot of years when Jordan and LeBron is in the NBA, they could have won MVP. So I don't necessarily look at that one as much. But I do remember LeBron getting robbed of that defensive player of the year. So yeah, that's crazy to me. What I will say is, even if you look at their NBA careers and you look at the way they competed internationally, Jordan has the dream team. LeBron, I can't really count his rookie year losses with Team USA as much. You know, they were just rookies at the time. But, you know, that second time they went over there and they lost to Greece or somebody, all the pre-Kobe losses, that has to count for something in your NBA career when you're representing Team USA. And another thing I really don't like is when someone said there's absolutely no argument that can be made, as if someone's talking about chopped liver in these arguments. That shows a personal something against Jordan. To make the case that there's no argument for Michael Jordan being the greatest player of all time over LeBron James is ridiculous. And it comes from the standpoint, or it comes from the viewpoint of someone that's just tired of hearing about somebody and they just couldn't wait to get on TV and say that. It's really baseless. I wouldn't say LeBron has no argument for best player of all time. So, you know, no one should really say that about Michael Jordan. You know, that's just trying too hard to be different. In my opinion, that takes credibility away from good points you might make. You know what I'm saying? When you say something like that. So I just wanted to point out a few times that Stan Van Gundy has said Jordan is not the best player. That's fine if he really feels that way. My issue was no argument can be made. When you start throwing things out there like that, where it makes it look like someone's opinion and they have some facts. I mean, you looking at the graphic, Jordan is very accomplished. So, I mean, yeah, he didn't play nearly as long as LeBron, but LeBron is still chasing a lot of that success. Some of these things is just impossible for him to reach at this point due to his age. You know, most likely won't ever see 6 rings. You know, he would have to really do something extraordinary over the next 3 or 4 years to see 6 rings, and he won't be able to see the type of rings that Jordan got, as far as, you know, being the alpha dog when he was doing it, and, you know, the final shot and all that high level of play. LeBron is playing at a high level and he's getting his stats, but his teams aren't in position to compete. And you might say that's a team thing, but LeBron has bounced around so much. Maybe if he had gotten with an organization like San Antonio, or he had went back to Miami or something like that, they may have a roster around him good enough to sustain that excellence. See, I take that argument away whenever you're able to go and choose your teams and team up and do different things like that. Because you pick your team, so you have to live with it whichever way it goes, in my opinion. But you know, I like both players, man. I just think that's crazy for Stan to say that. I watched it a couple days ago, and I wasn't gonna say anything on it, but I do want to hear you guys' comments, and I want to see what good points y'all make about this, because y'all be coming in the comments with some great stuff, sometimes that I never thought about, and I want to hear from each and every viewpoint, man. Look, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.